It's hard to imagine a life before multiple sclerosis. I was 23. I had just graduated from college and I had my first job. I was working in the Detroit area. I went to work and then I went back to my apartment. I could see two distinct images. Then I went back to Flint, which is where I grew up, and I saw my doctor who referred me to a neurologist, and then I was diagnosed.
I was diagnosed with MS on Valentine's Day of 2000. I was 27 years old when that happened, and I had the relapsing remitting form, so I was managing, but then I was just getting involved with other programs, and there was a program that was down in Frankenmuth. I went down just because it sounded fun, and the programs manager, she was like, well, why don't you sit over at that table? That's Jennifer's table. And you both are young, you both have MS and lead self-help groups, you'd have a lot to talk about. That was on a Saturday. I went into work that Monday morning, and Stacy, our graphic designer, he asked me how my weekend was. And I said, Stacy, I met the woman I'm gonna marry, and you're gonna be the best man at our wedding.
It was about four and a half years after my diagnosis. I no longer could walk, and I was not working. I had moved from Detroit back in with my parents, and they were concerned with this man who also has multiple sclerosis be able to handle this, especially if you move 2 hours away from them. And that's when we found out about my Choice Medicaid Waiver program, which would allow me to have a caregiver in the home to help with activities of daily living. And with that, Dan asked me to marry him. My caregiver, Jen, has been with Dan and me for 5 years. She comes to the house. She helps me with those activities of daily living. You know, if Dan and I want a bologna sandwich for lunch, for example, she will help make that. Or if we need to do laundry, she will help me get that done. So she just helps, and she always says that she's my hands.
She's an integral part of our life. I mean, really, the direct care workers, they become part of our family, and they know and they understand nuances. I remember the first time I had Jennifer had gone to the store and she had a bottle of ketchup, and I said, you probably better take this back to the store because the safety seal's missing and somebody's tainted with this. And she says, no, Jen took it off, so you didn't have to, because I don't have feeling in my fingers. And so Jen has been, like I say, just a true blessing. That's why we advocate to keep people in their homes, that quality of life that you get being there. And then, you know, that we can contribute to the community, that we go shopping here in town, we go to our church, support that, supporting the economy, and how much less expensive it is for the state to pay for the direct care worker in home versus paying what they have to house somebody in an assisted living facility. For as much money as the direct caregivers are saving the state, they could use some of that money to pay the caregivers more. It's still a win-win for everyone involved, and it's still going to cost a lot less than it would to house somebody who's fully capable to live in their own home with a little help.
These people come into my life and they touch every aspect of my life, and they deserve fair pay. Think about if you needed somebody to come in your life and you were going to pay them less than what they could make at McDonald's. You wouldn't want to treat somebody that poorly. You want them to know how appreciated they are, and that's why I think you have to take care of direct care workers, because you take care of me if you take care of direct care workers, and I would appreciate if you take care of me.